participants, ladies and gentlemen, we convey our sincere thanks to all professionals for their time and presence for Day 2 virtual workshop on the topic on integrated pipe irrigation network and micro irrigation. Ladies and gentlemen, now may I invite today's first resource speaker, Mr. Dilip Yevelkar, for the presentation. Let me introduce briefly about the speaker first. Mr. Dilip has an overall experience. Can I request to the participant kindly mute your microphone, please? Thank you. Mr. Dilip Yevelkar has an overall experience of 35 plus years in overseas and domestic projects, assessment and evaluation, including planning, designing, execution, tendering, contracts, procurement, material manpower, cost management, maintenance, establishment of relationship with clients and end users of various projects in India and abroad in agriculture, irrigation, solar power, gravity project, sorry, and polyhouses. Provided leadership in preparation of project design, reports for USA, Latin America, Europe, Australia pertaining to drip, sprinkler irrigation and agriculture project. He is MTech in Civil Structure Engineering, also member of Institution of Agri Engineers, United Kingdom and American Society of Agriculture Engineers, MI USA. Presently, he is Vice President, Overseas Business, Jan Irrigation System Limited. Now I request Mr. Dilip Yevelkar ji to make the presentation, please. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Today's topic is installation, operation, maintenance of micro irrigation system. Yesterday, you might have seen, you learned about the micro irrigation system. Now today we are going to see on installation part, operation and maintenance. So I will show one by one. This is my profile already explained. Now the topic what I don't, it is going very fast. See, now in this lecture presentation, the following topics I'm going to cover along with the video. First, review of micro irrigation system, components, its working, operation and maintenance. Components means drip lines, main, submain, then filtration unit, different kinds of filtration system, then smart clean filter, motor pump set, installation guideline, acid treatment, chlorine treatment, and general maintenance. If you look about drip irrigation, micro irrigation, the micro irrigation, what is it? Is water supply system. We supply water to the plant, drop by drop, like a city water supply system for the community. It is for the plant. Now here I want to play one animated video, how the system look like. So there is a water source. From water source, water is pumped out with the help of pump. Then water is passing through the different kinds of filter. There are blue color, there are filter that this is cyclone filter. Then the water is passing through a sand media filter. Then water is passing through screen filter, and then through pipeline called main pipeline. And there are number of drip lines, submain line, and during that, there are you can inject a fertilizer to drip system with the help of fertilizer tank or venturi. And this here you can see the water is moving in the pipeline. And in this system, there are some auxiliary unit like the air release valve, control valve, non-Newton valve, and pressure relief valve. These valves are required to monitor the pressure and flow in the system. And finally, water is delivered to the plant in the form of drop near to the root zone. This is the typical, this is the working model of the drip system, how it works. Now the component in the what are the components involved in the micro irrigation system in India, in the entire world. The main components are the motor pump set, then filtration system, main pipeline, submain line, lateral or drip lines, and control valve. These are the major components common anywhere in the world. So we are going to see one by one all how the component look like and what are working of these components. Now first we go with the drippers. The dripper, there are two types of dripper. One is online dripper and another is inline dripper. Online dripper means that is it is called button dripper. It is these drippers has to be fixed near to the plant on the polytube. Polytube means it is small tube of 12 millimeter diameter or 16 millimeter diameter. You have to make a small hole and then you have to fix the dripper near to the plant. There are different kinds of drippers are there. These drippers, that means in online system, the dripper for each row of the crop, the drip line is provided blind tube called blind tube, and on the blind tube, the drippers are fixed. The number of dripper depends on the type of crop and the soil type and root zone and crop water requirement. Now in inline dripper, the drippers are fitted inside the drip line. It is during time of manufacturing. So, this dripper, you cannot remove this dripper. I no need to fix in the farm. It is fitted during time of production at fixed interval. Now this is one type of dripper, a non-PC dripper. This is inline dripper. The dripper looks like this, and it is a 5-star dripper because the dripper has got different standard rating as per Indian standard and as per ISO standard. And Giant Dripper has got the certification 5-star rating certificate from the Semagraph agency. It is in France. And here we see the small video how the dripper works. See, for each crop, this is a dripper. This is non-PC dripper. Non-PC means non-pressure compensating dripper. This dripper has got turbulent flow path and water is going the path. This is certificate given by Semagraph agency located in France, which test per they give the rating. So this is the certificate. The drip line is suitable for all kind of crop, vegetable, sugarcane, tomato, flowers. The subsurface irrigation, on the surface irrigation. Now this is how the water is moving. When a particle, by chance some particle comes in the drip line, these are particles. Another dripper is PC dripper, that is pressure compensating dripper. This PC dripper is suitable for undulating land, for hilly terrain, or if the land has got slope, then these drippers are suitable. So here you can see the working of how the dripper works. See, this mechanism. In the dripper, there is a silicon diaphragm inside, and this diaphragm act as a pressure compensating, like when you in the tire in a tube in the vehicle, tire going on the any jump or anything, it get compensated. The same principle is followed here. Now coming to next component, filtration system. Now there are basically 4 types of filters are there. One is hydrocyclone filter, second is sand separator, third is sand filter, screen filter, and disc filter. The selection of filter depends on water quality. Water quality means physical, biological, and chemical impurities. Normally, filtration system is used to remove the physical impurities only. Chemical impurities and biological impurity cannot be separated by the filter. Physical impurity means, like in the form of sand, silt, clay, solid particle, and algae. These are separated with the help of this filter. And we are going to see one by one how this filter works. So this is the water test report we required to propose to select the proper filtration system. In water test, that means water sample has to be collected from the principal water source and has to be tested in the lab. So these are the parameter like pH value, conductivity, total TDS, then total hardness, calcium, magnesium, carbonates, bicarbonates, chloride. These parameters are required to decide the proper filtration system. Also, this parameter will help to decide the proper doses of fertilizer. That water analysis is must before going for drip system. Now here you can see the video of hydrocyclone filter, how it works. So here there is inlet, the raw water is pumped into the hydrocyclone filter, and the raw water, whatever the heavier particles present in the water gets settled at the bottom side because of the gravitational force. And here the centrifugal force is created inside the filtration system, and thereby the heavier particle gets settled at the bottom side. Up to 1 micron particle gets settled inside the filter. That means wherever the water source contain lot of physical impurities like the silt, mostly in northern part or wherever canal water is there or where farmer they are using river water. So naturally it contain with this suspended solids and the silt, sand, clay. So to separate these impurities, this filter is very effective. Another filter is sand separator. So you can see the working of this sand separator. This is advanced than that filter, hydrocyclone filter. If the presence of sand or any physical particle in the water is more, then this filter, sand separator, is more effective in that kind of water. Now in this filter, how it is moving, the water is the inlet connection of this inlet connection to this filter is connected in tangential to the cylinder, and the water is going in a rotational direction in centrifugal way, and thereby the heavier particle gets settled inside at the bottom side of the tank. Then bottom side get then you can clean the water. You can clean the filter by opening the simple wall located at the downside. So here you can see the black spot particles settle at down, and just can clean this filter by opening the wall. Very simple to clean. So this filter is more effective in case of the water content lot of silt particle, particularly in canal irrigation. Wherever canal is there and the farmer they are using canal as a water source, then this filter is more effective. Then another filter is a sand filter. So in the sand filter, the media itself is sand. This sand is not our construction sand, what we are using for the construction purpose. It is a silicon sand, silica sand, quartz sand. It has got, the thickness size of this is 1 mm to 2 mm size, and it is angular sand. It is not a round, it is angular sand. And why silica? Because silica is the toughest material. Brilliance hardness number of the silica is 9 number. That it is very hard material. So it does not get crushed during working. Working when the water is moving at high velocity, it does not get crushed. That's why silica is used in this. So in this sand filter, the inlet is there at the top side. Water is going inside the filter, and then the water passes through the sand media, and then water get filtered. So this sand filter is called a three-dimensional filter. Another next filter is a disc filter or screen filter. Here you can see. So in the disc filter and screen filter, it is more principle is more or less same. In disc filter, there are number of discs having groove. They have a V-shaped groove. It is arranged together to form a mesh. inside the tank. And this filter the holes are acting as a green filament, and the raw water is passing through the green, this mesh, and the filter gets filter. So this filter and screen filter is called dimensional filter. That means it will separate only the physical heavier particle, size particle. But this filter does not separate algae. To separate the algae, you require sand filter. Sand filter is three-dimensional filter. The flushing or backwashing of this filter is very simple. Just remove the cap, remove the connection, and clean with the clean water. These are the kind of filtration system. Now, before doing installation, some checklist has to be done so that the system can function properly. So that means, if some farmer wanted to do the installation of drip system, what he has to check? First, design has to be ensured whether design has to be made by the proper authorized design engineer, and then check the material, material received at the site. That means check whatever the material required to complete the installation has to be checked, and after that check the field and check the drawing whether it is matching together, or if there is some difference or some adjustment has to be done. Then contact the design engineer to make any addition or changes in the system. Then after that, make the drip line shall be placed properly, flush out the system, then check the system leakages anywhere in the joints and filtration system. If there is any leakages, just remove. This simple tips before installation. Now, how the installation is done? There are drip. First, when the drip line has to fix on the pipeline, submain line, it is a pipeline, PVC pipeline or HDP pipeline. First, they have to make a drill on the pipeline. This is a drill tool. The drilling can be done by machine or by hand. Then there are some the walls. The different kinds of walls are required in the system, like gate wall, non-return wall, sluice wall, air release wall, foot wall. So in the drip system, we recommend to go with the plastic only, PVC, because PVC has got low frictional coefficient of friction, so the losses are they're less in the pipeline in this wall. And this plastic wall, it does not get corrode. It has got more advantages than the metal wall, so it does not get corrode. You can replace it, you can repair it. Very simple to operate, simple to install, and it is cheaper than metal wall. And it does not theft. Even it does not have resale value, so the question of theft is not there in the plastic. Then after that, once the installation has been done, then operation of the system has to be followed. How to do operate the system. After completion of the installation, first open all the control wall, flush wall, drip line end, flush wall. That means entire wall should be kept open for cleaning and flushing. That means before starting, they clean the entire system. That means thereby what will happen, whatever any by chance during installation, if some part or some debris remain in the pipeline, get flushed out under pressure. Then switch on the motor pump set. Then allow water to come out from the end of the drip line, flush wall, flushing just for a few minutes. After flushing, close all the lateral ends first, then flush walls. Then allow to build up the pressure in the submain line and the main line as recommended by the design. So once the cleaning has been done, then close all the ends of the lateral and flush wall, and the pressure get built up in the system. And this check the pressure. That means this pressure is recommended by the company, because all the drip system is a pressurized system. It is working at certain pressure, like 1 kg to 1.5 kg. pressure. That means 1 kg, 1.5 kg pressure is required at the submain inlet. Naturally, at the filtration system, at the inlet of the filter, the pressure will be more. So just to adjust the pressure, if the pressure is less, that means it is indication that somewhere it is leakage or somewhere it is some wall is open. That is indication. Then control the recommended pressure at the filter and submain. Then operate the system as per the irrigation of the crop. Irrigation demand, that means how much water is required for the crop. Based on the water requirement, then start irrigating the system. So this is very simple technique to operate. It is not very tough. Operation is not a big task. It is very simple and easy to understand. After completion of the irrigation, once the irrigation is finished, the switch off motor pump set and valves. Then backwash the filtration system before starting of the system and after. Once the irrigation is over, then the filter should be backwashed. Then apply the fertilizer during the irrigation only. That means if fertilizer is to be given to the crop, then during irrigation only the fertilizer has to be given. The doses of fertilizer has to be calculated as recommended by the agronomist. Under maintenance, before application of the fertilizer, it is necessary to do the soil and water test, because this is very important. Because from the water, because the quality or the water quality parameter get changes from season to season. That means in rainy season, the quality of water get changes. In summer, the water quality get changes. So season to season, the water has to be tested. Similarly, soil also. Before plantation of the any crop, soil has to be tested, and after harvest or in between, the soil has to be tested from the plantation area and in between area wherever there is no plant, and check the parameter. What are the water parameters there? And based on water quality and soil data, the doses of fertilizer can be recommended. That means only the proper required quantity of fertilizer has to be applied to the plant, not excess. Then water testing, water soil testing is required. So these are the report: water test and soil test report. So water test report, these are parameters we need to study. Under soil also, we need to test pH value, conductivity, organic carbon, nitrogen, available phosphorus, potassium, sodium, potassium. These are the elements we need to test it. And whatever, if there is any shortage, deficiency in this element, then that can be provided by applying supplement fertilizer. Under drip irrigation system, only water soluble fertilizers are recommended. You cannot apply the conventional type of fertilizer through drip system. Now under this maintenance, based on the water quality, this maintenance schedule can be decided. Like, whether to operate to do the maintenance on daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, or half yearly. This depends on what is the quality of water. Daily basis. On daily basis, checking pressure at the filtration system and submain. Like this, whenever you if you are using vehicle, car or motorbike, then every day you are checking the fuel and you are checking the tire pressure. In the same way, before switching on the irrigation system, the pressure has to be checked at the filtration. Check and rectify the leakages if occurs. This you can easily find out if there is the sudden pressure difference at the filtration system or at the submain. Then it is indication that there may be some leakages in the system, and rectify the leakages. Then flush out the screen filter and sunny filter. Check the emission through the dripper, that how much water is coming out from the dripper. Check the wetting pattern in the soil. This is very important. Even you switch on the irrigation system and even water is reaching near to the plant, but wetting pattern in the soil is very important. If there is no proper wetting pattern, that means there is something wrong in the soil or in the system. If there is no wetting pattern, that means there is no use of providing irrigation. Then water won't be available for the plant or irrigation. And observe the growth of the plant. This is very, very important. Every day, the growth of the plant in the farm should be observed. That means the growth should be uniform. Whether the growth is uniform in the entire farm or somewhere there is some plant get dried up or some growth is some portion of the area, there is low, poor growth. If there is some, it is an indication of that. That means that part, that area may not is not the water is not reaching to that area, or even the fertilizer is not reaching to that area. This is indication. So observation of the crop growth is crop health is very, very important. Weekly basis you can do that, flushing the submain by opening the wall. This it can be done on weekly basis also, or daily basis also. On monthly basis, perform acid and chlorine treatment. This is on monthly basis. And the treatment of acid and chlorine depends on the water quality. Then half yearly basis, inspect the media in the sand, like sand media in the sand filter. If the quantity of sand is less, then replace, or if it is damaged, it is poor, then replace the quality, replace the sand. Inspect the clean element, disc element in the filter, and if it is damaged, then replace it if required. Normally this element is sand, the sand media and the screen element, this does not get damaged immediately. The life is more than 5 to 7 years, more than 10 years also. So this is not the case, but just you have to inspect this media, what is inside mechanism, like like the car also, car maintenance I require. That means you have to check the oil level. The same way you have to check the sand level in the system. Under daily maintenance, these are in this photograph you can see what is the daily maintenance here. So pressure has to be checked at the filter at the submain level. Then flush out the screen, disc filter and hydrocyclone filter. Check the emission from the dripper randomly. That means whether water is coming out from dripper, that you have to check it randomly. Do not pull the dripper. That means when you are checking the emission, do not pull the dripper or do not hit the dripper, or do not use any sharp object like a knife or needle to clean the dripper. And in this photograph you can see the flushing, how the flushing is done. In flushing of the drip line is very simple. There is an end cap is there. Just remove the end cap, allow the water to come out from the end cap. And similarly on the submain also, submain flush valve, just open the cap and allow water to get out from the submain for few seconds. Sand filter also, just open the lid of the sand filter and allow water to clean out, and put the hand inside the media and just clean it. So this is simple technique to clean this one. They coming to the acid treatment and the chlorine treatment. Once in a month, acid treatment is required and chlorine treatment is required. Now the acid treatment, why acid treatment is required? Acid treatment is required to remove the salt accumulated in the drip system. What kind of salt? Chlorine, chloride, magnesium, manganese. All this salt, they get deposited at the orifice of the dripper. And once and after some time, it get the water get evaporated from the dripper, and it get hardened. This salt become as a stone. Your drip line. Choking or clogging of the drip line, drippers, the chlorine acid treatment is required. And using the acid is suitable to remove this. But normally we recommend hydrochloric acid, HCl. This hydrochloric acid is available in the market of 33% strength, 30% strength. You can buy it. We don't recommend to use other acid like sulfuric acid, nitric acid. These acids not they do it is not available commonly in the market, and these acids are very dangerous. Whereas HCl is not so harmful for the human, for the animal, to the plant. So this acid can be used. Now the quantity of acid, how much acid to be used, that I will show in the next slide. So here you can see how the general in this video you can see how the maintenance are done for the drip line. This is a drip line, how that cleaning. This is end cap. This end cap close the end of the drip line. Just remove the end cap and allow water to go out from the drip line. And there are some automatic flush valves also available. So it works automatically. Then checking the position of drip line. That means whether the wetting pattern is proper or not. So this has to be inspected. This is banana plantation. Now the farmer is checking the wetting pattern and the checking the emission from the dripper. You can see the wetting pattern, how the wetting pattern, and this person is cleaning, flushing out the drip line. This is flushing of the submain by opening the cap of few seconds. And he's just checking the quality of water. So this is the leakages, somewhere, some leakages happen. So he's closing these leakages. By closing, by plugging the leakages, the leakages. This is a takeoff leakages. If by chance, if there is extra hole done on the pipeline, it can be closed. And here the farmer has to measure how much water is the dripper emitting in 1 hour. The opening of the dripper. Can the person the on in button type of dripper, the farmer can open the dripper and clean the dripper. Here you can see some dirt accumulated in the dripper, and this can be cleaned manually. This is another dripper, very simple dripper. Just remove the cap and clean it. So these drippers are called button dripper. In button dripper, you can clean it easily, but inline dripper is not possible to clean. Remove the dripper from the drip line and clean it. Then there is a test you have to perform, coefficient of variation test. When we design the system, the emission uniformity is taken as 90%. That means 10% discharge variation is there. So there are in this field, the number of drippers are there. they take sample, random sample, measurement from the dripper. Now this person is checking the pressure. He just make a small hole, and with the help of pressure gauge, he will test the pressure, whether how much pressure is there. Now here the pressure is 30 psi, around 1.5 kg. That means, so now he recorded the pressure around 215 and 200. Like the pressure is same. Only thing at last the pressure is 120 kPa, kilopascal. Now flow rate test. So now he's checking the how much flow. He's measuring the discharge for 36 seconds, and after that, if you multiply by 100, then it is coming to 1 liter per hour. Say 2.4 liter per hour, and he's checking the reading at all the corner, the entire farm. Then after that, once you collect the data, then you have to put it into a CV calculation, coefficient of variation. That means statistical deviation has to be calculated, and based on statistical deviation, you can work out the coefficient of variation, how much variation is there. Up to 10%, it is acceptable. About 10%, if the discharge variation is more than 10%, then that is not acceptable. That means something wrong in the during installation or something wrong during design. So this is the indication. This is the certification. Now here another type of filter. This is automatic cleaning smart clean filter. This is a vertical model. So here you can see the working. This filter is more advanced than other kind of filter. This is called smart clean filter. The It is a vertical model, and this automatic cleaning of this filter is done with the help of electric motor. And this can be connected to the computer program, and this filter work as per the program or as per based on the as per the time schedule, or as based on the pressure difference. This the backwashing is done. This filter. The entire body is mild steel coated with epoxy material, and inside there are four screen inside element. The water is going from one end inlet and coming out the delivery system. This is a connection. You can see there are three screens are there. Sorry, four screens are there. Bigger screen, then a smaller screen, finer screen. The screen level is up to 100 micron. It filters the water up to 100 micron. How the cleaning is done? With the self pressure, the cleaning of this filtration system is done. The electric motor located at the top rotates the nozzle inside the filter, and the nozzle sucks the dirt from the skin surface and throws out from the flushing pipe. Now see here, a nozzle, they are sucking the particle, the dirt, and there is another pipe through which this particle get flushed out the entire operation is done automatic. So no need to put manually. It is connected to the computer also. There is small program is there. So this is advanced. That means this filter will solve all the issues. And there is no need to go for hydrocyclone filter or screen filter or sand filter. So this one filter is sufficient to go. Now it is also the same smart clean filter, but this is horizontal model. And the difference here is this filter, the backwashing, cleaning of this filter is done.
I guess we have some technical issue from the speaker's part. So kindly bear with us, participants.
Okay. Uh, can you see the presentation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. From where I have disconnected? From where? To slide or I don't know from where I.
35, slide number 35.
Okay, 35. Okay. Okay, slide 35. Now, is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I am putting on in the present slide mode. So, sorry, gentlemen. Now, here, this is I want to show you another type of filter, a smart clean filter. This is a horizontal model. How it works. So, the entire body, this compact model, entire body is made from MS steel and coated with the epoxy coating, powder coated, and it is this is the impeller, and it requires some tool to remove the screen element, and the tool is provided along with the filtration system, and it is very simple to remove the screen. So this is the screen element. Again, this screen element has got four layer of the screen. Element has got four layer of screen, one bigger mesh, then smaller mesh. The level of filtration level is 100 micron. That means this filter can also filter water up to 100 micron level. That means this is fine filter, such a fine filter we are providing. See this smart clean filter, this is a new advanced, new generation of the filtration system. So this will replace all the sand filter and other kind of filter. There is no need to go for other kind of filter. Only one filter can serve the purpose of all. Now in the system, there are different general maintenance tips are required. Like in under general maintenance, like run the system at least for 30 minutes even in rainy season. It is recommended to use water soluble fertilizer, as these fertilizers are acidic in nature and which also prevent blocking precipitation of salt. That means, even there is if the farmer, if they are using acidic fertilizer like phosphoric acid or any kind of acidic fertilizer, then there is no need to use the special acid treatment. So this will take care of your precipitation of salt. Then another issue can observe like root intrusion. Sometimes if the soil get dry, then what happened that the roots are going in search of water. Roots are clever, they know from where water is coming, so they may enter into the dripper. So this can be avoided by just providing keeping the soil wet, and there are some chemical available to which can avoid the root intrusion, which is repellent to the root intrusion. So that chemical can be added during the time of production. Then another some tips are there, to safeguard the system from rat and squirrel. So rat and squirrel, these two elements, they can damage the drip system. This we observe some places. So for this, to avoid this one, maintain the continuous wetness in the soil. This is a simple solution that keeps the soil wet so that this rat and squirrel won't walk on in the wet soil. And if possible, bury the drip line 3 to 6 inches in the ground. As some rat repellent chemicals are available, we manufacture the drip line with the repellent also. That means during the time of order, when we manufacture, we add the rat repellent chemical. So for this, the specific order has to be made. Then close the hole in the field with the stone and concrete. For squirrel, very simple trick is there. Place the water balls at different places. They drink it and they will not damage to the drip line. These small ticks are there. And then if the snakes are there, don't kill the snakes. They can eat the rat. So these are the rat traps can be used. Some rat poisons are there. Then chemical treatment. The injection of chemical through drip irrigation system to prevent precipitation. this is chemication or a treatment, chemical treatment. So water contains with physical, biological and chemical impurities. Physical impurities can be separated by providing proper filtration system, whereas chemical impurities require chemical treatment, like mainly acid treatment. And this treatment can be provided with the help of Venturi, fertilizer tank and injector pump that I am going to show you in the next video. The two types of treatments are commonly used, acid treatment and chlorine treatment. So under acid treatment, normally four types of acid you can use it, like HCl, hydrochloric acid of 25% strength. This is commercial grade available. It is not harmful for the human, plant and animal. H2SO for sulfuric acid can be used, but this is it requires license to purchase. Now it is used in the batteries, but this sulfuric acid is dangerous for human, plant and animal. Then HNO3 nitric acid. This is also require license. This is also dangerous for human, plant. So we don't recommend to use sulfuric acid and nitric acid. Fourth is phosphoric acid. The phosphoric acid, it is a commercial. This acid is available commercially. It is available at the fertilizer store. It is one component in fertilizer, and it is low hazardous to the human and animal, but useful for the plant because some of the fertilizers they are acidic in nature. So in that phosphoric is a one element as acid, and it can be used. So that means these acids are used to dissolve the salt accumulated in the drip system. Now, while performing the acid, some precaution has to be taken. Like the acid should be stored away from the children, human, animal. It should be keep away. Never add water into the acid. Always add acid into the water. So this is if you add water into acid, the density as per the guideline, and this is given in the manual. Now the calculation of acid injection rate, how much acid to be injected, this is the formula to inject the acid. Then rate of, that means first how much water is there, what is the rate of flow in the system, and based on the rate of flow, you can work out the acid volume with this formula. Then acid, once you work out the how much dose of acid to be injected, so after completion of irrigation, the acid treatment has to be done, has to be performed, and check the with the help of pH paper, check the pH value at the last emitting point and check whether the pH reaches to 4. If it is reaches to 4 and 5, that means the acid treatment is, that is the signal. You can see that it is the acid treatment is done, and close the system for 24 hours, and next day allow the water to drain out from the drip system. So here in this video, you can see how the treatment is performed. So this blue color is not acid. It is only for the color to understand the treatment. Now we are going to see the acid treatment. The pH paper is there. This pH paper is available in the store, medical store. Take the 1 liter of water. Use hand gloves. Add acid as per the quantity. Work out with the formula. And test the pH. The pH reaches to 4, and inject by using Venturi or any application device, injector device, and you check the pH value at the end of the dripper. After 24 hours, you just flush out the drip lines, drip ends, and submains so that all the acidic water get off from the system. Then after once acid treatment is over, then perform your irrigation. Then similarly for chlorination treatment. Now there are three types of chlorine. That is chlorine gas is used. The chlorine is poisonous and which help to kill the algae, fungus, and bacteria in the water source and in the system. So this system, there are three source of chlorine. One is calcium hypochlorite, that is bleaching powder. Now it contains 65% of chlorine. Then sodium hypochlorite, it is in liquid form. It contains 15% of the chlorine. This sodium hypochlorite, you are aware that now in Corona period, people they are familiar. It is available in the store, medical store, the store. So you can just purchase this one. This is also useful. Then in chlorine gas. The chlorine gas, we don't recommend to use chlorine gas because it is very toxic. So it is harmful for the human. So that we don't recommend chlorine, but bleaching powder and sodium hypochlorite is recommended. That the doses, how to calculate the doses of hypochlorite bleaching powder is given in this formula. That how much water, volume of water is there, and at what rate water is flowing. Based on the doses, can work out. Now, there the chlorium, calcium hypochlorite. Here one example is given how to work out the dose of the calcium hypochlorite. If the farmer wish to achieve 20 ppm of chlorine concentration, normally 10 to 20 ppm chlorine is required. ppm of chlorine is required at the end of the drip line. So to achieve 20 ppm in the flow of 12 liter per second, so how much quantity of hypochlorite, calcium hypochlorite use? So these are the formula it is given. Similarly, for if somebody wanted to use sodium hypochlorite, for sodium hypochlorite, these are the this is a formula to work out the dose quantity of sodium hypochlorite. Now here you can see this in this video you can see the bleaching powder. This bleaching powder is mixed into the bucket. So this is the stock solution of the bleaching powder, a chlorine. Then the stock solution has to be filtered so that whatever the residual get filter from the screen. And this filter bleaching powder solution, you can put it in the fertilizer tank, in the tank or in the injector, and allow to pass through the drip system. So now here the person, this is he's covering this. Why? Because the chlorine is very reactive to the metal. So that's why uh, the metal, the surface of the metal equipment, this metal part should be protected, should be keep away from the chlorine. They close the lid. After chlorination, clean the equipment. That this is very important. Otherwise, this metal part get corroded if the chlorine is there. And check the ppm. In the market, there are ppm papers are available in the market. So check the ppm at the end of the dripper. Up to 20 ppm or 10 ppm, this that means this water should have 10 to 20 ppm. That means the chlorine treatment is done. It is okay. And after 24 hours, you close the system for 24 hours. And next day, you just backwash, clean the entire system, and just start irrigating. This simple technique. Now, this is a guideline for water quality test parameter. So there are different parameters are there: conductivity, total solid, hardness, calcium. Then what is the significance? That means for example, if the total solids is up to 500 ppm, that means the plugging of dripper will not be there. Chances are less. If the total solid is 500 to 600 ppm, then there are moderate chances. Dripper can get clogged. And if the percentage of this total solid is more than 600 ppm, then there are chances of clogging in the dripper. So this is a guideline. So when after doing the water test report, just cross check all the parameter, and you can decide yourself whether treatment at what is the interval of the treatment. Then after that, this is a video for fertilizer application. How the fertilizer to be applied. This is the fertilizer tank. The stock solution of the fertilizer has to be prepared in the bucket, and you just fill the tank with this stock solution and close the lid. And this mechanism is very simple. And at there is a gate wall is there. You control the gate wall, adjust the gate wall in such a way that the water start flowing through a tank, and along with water, the fertilizers is coming into the system. That means there is no need to apply the fertilizer by hand or manually. So this fertilizer tank will help to apply the fertilizer along with the drip system, along with the drip water to the plant. Then coming to the pump. So normally pump, there are three types of pumps used under forward drip system: electrical monoblock pump set, coupled pump set, diesel engine, solar pump. The pump, if you see the mechanism of the pump, it contains with the electric motor is there. Then impeller is there, and the pumps are available in single phase also and three phase also. The parts of the pumps are, one is motor is there. In motor, there rotor and stator is there. And in the pump, there is a volute casing and impeller. So here, how the pump works, just I want to show you small. So this is a video from Kirloskar, impeller inside. So with the centrifugal force, the water is discharged. The suction is done as the impeller rotates. So this is the so this is a video. Just I now in this case, how to calculate, because if somebody wanted to know how to which pump is required, so there are some methods to work out the pump. First, to know the pump, how much head is required and how much discharge. The total head you can calculate by using this formula: suction head plus delivery head plus filtration losses, frictional head losses in the main line pipeline, operating pressure fitting losses, venturi head elevation. This is required. Then discharge, this is as per design, and with the help of this formula you can work out how much HP is required. And with the HP, you can, if you multiply by 0.75, then it can give the kilowatt. And kilowatt, if you apply, if you multiply with one power factor 1.2, then it will give the kilowatt. And the kilowatt kVA, then electrical unit, the kilowatt, if you multiply with the hours, then it will give use the electrical unit. That means with this electrical unit, you can work out how much electric bill will be there. So this is in the drawing. You can see in drip system. Yeah, this is the this total head. How the total head is work out. There is a water source. From water source, there is suction plus delivery. Then the water is going through the filtration system, then going through pipeline. So these all parameters need to be added. Market, what happened? And local pump available in stock. So that local dealer and the farmer, they don't understand which kind of pump has to be selected. So this is very important to select the proper pump for the working of the system. So in this graph, you can see along the x-axis there is a discharge rate is given in liter per second. Along y-axis, the total head is head of the pump in meter. So that means now in the pumping system, what happens when the head is maximum? At that time, the discharge is minimum. When the head is minimum, the discharge is maximum. This is the relation of the pump, and that means the curve is the curve of the pump, performance curve of the pump is in the arch pump. Now there is efficiency 85%, 80%, 75%, 70%. So we are to the farmer has to select the pump which has got efficiency of 85%. That means when you are purchasing the pump from the market, from the manufacturer or from the dealer, you ask what is the performance chart of the pump, and the pump is the pump which is having 85% efficiency. Only that pump you have to purchase. The pumping system, like installation of the pump system, then alignment of the pump has to be checked, construction of the pump, the foundation, the cable, control panel. These are the steps to be followed for installation of the pumping system and operation of the pump system. Do priming of the pump before switch on. This priming is very important before the switch on. Check the voltage and current before switch on the pump. Monitor the pressure and regulate the bypass, because there is a normally what happened in the farm, there is always fluctuation in the voltage and current. People normally they don't understand what is how much voltage is required, how much current is required. In the farm, if there are three phase, so one phase might get a low voltage or low current, and thereby the performance pump is working there, pump is rotating, but it does not generate that much pressure or head. So to know the correct voltage and current, so it is better to provide voltmeter and ammeter in the control panel for all the phases. So thereby you can understand this If there is some problem in the voltage and current, then you have to approach to the electrical board to provide the proper voltage and current. Then other maintenance for the pump side is just generalized check alignment, check nut bolt, electrical connection, control panel, earthing. Earthing is very important. Leakage of the pump set, then check protection devices and some safety devices are required. So in the electrical the pumping system, the three types of earthing is there. One earthing has to be provided to the pumps, one earthing has to be provided to the electric motor, and one earthing has to be provided to the control panel. And the earthing has to be done as per Indian standard. Sometimes what happens, the farmer they just they do the shortcut to do the earthing. So they wanted to compromise on the cost, and they will connect to some. They make small hole and just put earthing. So that is not the proper way. So proper earthing has to be done. So this is the end of the slide. If any question, I welcome the question. Please. Can you
Thank
hear
you, sir.
me, madam?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for making a detailed presentation. Now I request to the participants, if they have any question, they may ask, please. Or participant may write to us as well over the email. We will arrange your respective answer from the speaker and get back to you over the email itself.
Yes, that is also possible. They can write
Yes.
to you and or even to me also.
Or
No
either
problem.
directly to you, as you have already shared your email ID
Yes, madam.
in
Yes,
the
that is
last
also
slide.
possible.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes, absolutely. As
yes,
per the convenience of the participants, they
yes,
may opt any of the option. Or if
yes.
they wish, they can ask the question right away as well.
Okay. Already the note has been circulated before. Already I submitted a note for distribution. That will also help.
Yes. Do we have any question from the participant side? No response from the participant side, so I guess we should conclude this session right away.
Yes,
Thank you,
madam.
sir, for making the presentation and sparing the time as well to conduct this virtual session. Now we conclude this session and will now take a break for lunch and reassemble at 2:30.
Okay, madam. Yes. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank
Thank you,
you.
everybody. Yes, thank you.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.